Oh, so you're a metalhead? Name 10 types of metal. I love Black Sabbath. Oh, your favourite band's Black Sabbath too? Yeah, I actually think they're overrated. Tool? You're a fucking tool. Metallica. Sleep Token? So yes, even In Arcadia is here, Sleep Token's latest release. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like it. Look, and I get it, you want more metal, and you might not see this band as metal. I think once people are on a bandwagon, it's hard to jump off, especially when everyone around you is clapping and applauding you for saying the same thing over and over. And this isn't a new thing, just look at Nickelback or even Taylor Swift at the minute. As like cringe as it is to be a super fan, it's also just as cringe to be a staunch hater. And look, I'm not actually a super fan of the band, but I don't hate them. I actually did get the pleasure of seeing them live quite a few years ago now. Quite a small and intimate gig, but it was actually really good. There was so much energy going on, and all of them are such great musicians, especially the drumming, which was awesome to see live. And then you have Vessel's vocals coming in, it's all very dynamic. Sometimes it's a bit too theatrical. Yeah, overall it was just such a good show that I'm actually sometimes kind of confused by the hate they get. A big thing about this band is anonymity. As you probably know, the band members perform under various aliases. I'm not going to use their real names because it just seems a little bit inappropriate, but yeah, you have Vessel on vocals, 2 drums, 3 bass, 4 guitar. It's all part of their theatrics, right? They all don these masks to maintain a mysterious presence. It's that desire to stay anonymous that really kind of pushed them to the forefront. It's a double-edged 10+ sword that really doesn't have balance. You can't be famous and be anonymous, unfortunately, especially when people get a bit obsessed. Another thing people don't like is their gimmick of blending genres, which is quite a big thing in this album, I think. You know, blending elements of metal, progressive rock, trap, R&B, reggaeton. And yeah, again, some people seem to have a big issue with this. It's not a new thing. Look at the band Graphic Nature blending drum and bass into metal, which, by the way, was fucking awesome. We need more D&B in metal. I do feel like they've intentionally added lots more genres and like influences from other music, just as like a bit of a FU to the criticism, like the saxophone on the end of the song Emergence, or Caramel using that like reggaeton beat thing, which I do find that song growing on me more and more. I mean, people fucking hate it. Like, yeah, sure, it's slightly overproduced, but it is kind of catchy, and I can appreciate the lyrics too, almost confirming this hate already that they're getting for it. I guess that's what I get from trying to hide from the limelight. It's this idea of wanting to be famous with the loss of privacy that is just kind of unattainable in this day and age anyway. And I think it's a big issue when it comes to celebrities. People gain these parasocial relationships, and it's impossible to stay anonymous. I guess it is like a little bit on the nose, but I still enjoyed it. Then you have another lead single, Emergence, starting off quite slow. This is one of the better songs on the album for me. It does stick more to a defined style. I don't mind the transitions to trap beats that much, but they do it a bit much. For example, on the intro, Look to Windward, the heavier parts are the moments I enjoyed the most. And similar to Past Self, starting out like you've just entered the fairy fountain from Zelda, or the end of the track Gethsemane, getting a bit biblical. Yeah, unfortunately, those transitions do take you out of the moment. Talking about the track Gethsemane, the lyrics do feel somewhat indulgent, but again, like, I don't mind it. It kind of plays into their whole like aesthetic. And I've heard a lot of criticism about their lyrics. Don't be so dramatic, put down the thesaurus. And I don't get that impression with the lyrics. I mean, they're not using words that most people don't understand. They just seem a bit more like theatrical again. And you know, being theatrical is kind of their identity. With this like rich symbolic lore, the band revolves around this worship of an ancient deity called Sleep, for fuck's sake. It's part of their show. Another track that I enjoyed is Provider. Having a softer feel to it, I quite like the mixture of electronic drums and acoustic. They switch between the two quite effectively, but again, it's those heavier moments that stand out more to me. Lyrically, I think it's pretty good, about love, infatuation, but they do a good job of describing it. Even though I am quite enjoying the album, there are moments that come across as a little bit basic, you know, run-of-the-mill metal, or whatever you want to call it. For example, the title track or Dangerous, they do follow a bit of a predictable song structure. I do wish there were more tracks that stayed heavy throughout, and I just kind of want more energy. But you know, I guess that's their sort of style, so what can you do? Then things get a bit mixed up with Damocles, feeling like a bit of a ballad. Here I think you get a really nice showcase of vocals, and I don't really mind the guitars either. I think they work for what they are. I think this is the only track that has this random sound effect out of nowhere. If it sounds like a tape going into a deck or something. No idea why they've done this, but it seems weirdly out of place, and you know, if you're going to do it on this song, why not add other sound effects or, you know, some more sound design throughout the album? That's one thing I will say about the album. There's not like a huge range of sound, apart from like a few moments in the first few tracks, but really it is a bit formulaic. Coming to the last track now with Infinite Baths, which is an 8-minute long track, a bit longer than the intro, again with those sort of retro game synths, but everything does feel a little swamped in reverb, unfortunately. Rather than making everything sound full and wide, it's kind of making everything feel claustrophobic. But it isn't really until about 5 minutes in when things start to pick up and it starts to get heavy. We get some good screaming, everything is crunchy, and I'm quite liking that nu metal vibe on the guitars. After hearing this last 5 minutes, I feel like so much more of the album could have had this. And yeah, I was actually really getting into it, and then it decided to fade out. I hate fades, just end it, don't leave me hanging. Call me basic, because I enjoyed even In Arcadia. It's by no means perfect. Some tracks feel a little too polished or overproduced, and others sometimes play it a bit safe, but there's enough creativity, emotion and heaviness to keep me interested. And you know, I do kind of understand where the criticism comes from, but I really don't think it's that bad. I know it can't be easy to have all this criticism, but I do respect the fact that Sleep Token kind of just do their own thing, even if that means pissing off the purists or whatever. But saying all of that, I would give this album a 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't hate me too much. But yeah, feel free to leave a comment, whatever you like. And I would love to see you all on the next one. So thank you very much for watching.